Hi students, hope everyone is fine and safe. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to my new video. And today's video is about another interesting topic in Unit 3, Design of ALU. We are going to see 12 rules of Boolean Algebra. In last video, we have seen basic laws of Boolean Algebra. And in the continuation, we are going to see 12 different rules of Boolean Algebra. And this is very important video because only if you understand these rules and regulations, you can able to simplify the logical expressions. Okay. And you can see here there are a lot of laws like identity law, null law, inverse law and all those things. But basic laws, very important laws is commutative law, associative law and distributive law, which we have seen already. Right. So now we'll see about 12 rules of Boolean algebra. Okay. So first thing, these are the 12 rules we're going to see. That is a plus 0, that will be equal to a. A is nothing but, we can call it as literal or we can call it as a variable here. Right. And similarly, a plus 1 is equal to 1. And the operation a dot 0 is equal to 0 and a dot 1 is equal to 1. All these are very simple expressions, right? You have to show proof for each and every expressions, right? So a plus a is equal to a and a plus a bar is equal to 1. You got to understand and remember all these 12 rules so that whenever you need to simplify something, you can use this expression directly. Okay, so it's a dot a is equal to a, and similarly a dot a complement is equal to 0 and a double bar is equal to a, and similarly a plus ab is equal to a, and similarly a plus a bar b is equal to a plus b, and then a plus b into a plus c is equal to a plus bc. Right. So that is what we are going to see. We have already seen associative law and commutative law. These are the other rules and regulations. Okay. So now we'll see how to simplify or how to show the proof of each and every rule. Okay. First thing is a plus 0 is equal to a. That is, if you're going to add, if a is a variable and if you're going to add 0 for that, right, that will be equivalent to that variable. Right. That is this rule. So a plus 0, a no variable irukku, and the variable kuda nee 0 add panning appadina, that will be equivalent to a. Right. So how will you prove that? Right. You can see here, consider this one input has to be 0, right? The one input has to be 0. The other input is a, correct? So now a. Now we got to prove this one, right? A plus 0, right? A can be either 0 or 1, correct? A can be either 0 or 1. If a is equal to 1, then 1 plus 0 is equal to 1, correct? 1 plus 1, that is AND gate, 1 plus 0 is equal to 1, correct? So a, a is equal to 1 and consider pannirkom, right? So if you are going to add 1 plus 0, then definitely that is equivalent to this particular a. And similarly, if a is considered as 0, if a is equal to 0, and if you are going to add with 0, once again the result will be 0, right? And we know that that is a, correct? Right, so that is a variable odd with 0 is always equal to that variable. Right, if the input variable is a is 1, then output is 1. If it is 0, then output is 0. That is rule 1, right? And similarly, rule 2. Rule 2, the same rule, it is a slight change in this. That is a plus 1 is equal to 1, right? So what we are doing is any variable, that is any variable that is odd with 1 will be equal to 1, right? You can see if it is we are considering a, right? And you can see here one input has to be 1 and other input has to be a, correct? So we consider 1 and a is equal to 1, right? If it is a is equal to 1, then 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, right? And similarly, if a is equal to 0, we consider a is equal to 0. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, right? So which is nothing but this is a and this is a, right? அப்போ a நம்ம 1 னு கன்சிடர் பண்ணாலும் 1 தான் and 0 னு கன்சிடர் பண்ணாலும் 1 தான், right? When you are going to add with 1, right? And that is what given. A variable odd with 1 is always equal to 1, right? And if a is 1, right? 1 இருந்துச்சுனா 1 plus 1 னு வந்துரும், right? 0 வந்துச்சுனா 0 plus 1 1, correct? So this is rule 2, right? Very simple rules, right? The reason why I am putting this video is you have to understand how this evolved so that you can able to solve the complex equations, okay? Right? And a dot 0 is equal to 0, right? That is any variable that is AND with 0, that is equal to 0. That is common, right? That is multiplication rule, right? Anything that is multiplied with 0 is always 0, right? So how to prove this? Now we consider this one input is 0, another input is a, correct? So if a is equal to 1 and other input is 0, right? 1 into 0, that is 0, right? And similarly, a is equal to 0 and if a is equal to 0 and that is multiplied with 0, it is 0, right? And that is what given. Any variable that is ANDed with 0 is equal to 0, right? And if it is 0, a is equal to 0 or a is equal to 1, the output will be 0. This is rule number 3, right? And what is rule number 4, right? That is, if any variable is AND with 1, that is equal to that variable. Simple again, it is the rule of multiplication, right? Anything that is multiplied with 1 will be equal to the same thing, correct? So here you can see if a is equal to 0 and that is multiplied with 1, that is equal to 0. Similarly, if a is equal to 1 and if it is multiplied with 1, that is equal to 1, correct? So that is inga 1 இருந்தாலும் சரி 0 இருந்தாலும் சரி, if it is multiplied with 1, it will give the same value. That is the variable of a. So you can see here a or input and 1 under the next input, right? The output will be a because we are multiplying with 1. And that is what explained here. A variable and with 1 is always equal to that particular variable. Okay. All these are very simple. Okay. And rule number 5, right? And you can see in rule number 5, that is a plus a is equal to a, right? That is when you are adding variable, same variable, right? We are going to add the same variable twice, right? That is, we are going to add both same variable, then it will give the same variable. Okay, that is a plus a is equal to a, right? A is one variable, and if you want to add the same variable with the same variable, then you will get the same variable, right? So that is a variable add with itself, right? அது கூடயே நம்ம add பண்றோம் அப்படினா it will give the same variable, right? How can we prove this, right? That is, you can see one input is a, another input is also a, right? So if both the input ரெண்டு இன்புட்டுமே சேமா இருந்துச்சுன்னா our output is same அப்படினு சொல்றோம், ரைட்டா? That is, if a is equal to 0 and a is equal to 0, right, then output will be 0. Similarly, if a is equal to 1 and a is equal to 1, you will get 1, correct? That is rule number 5, right? And rule number 6, and this is very important rule, that is a plus a complement, right? A plus a complement is equal to 1, right? I have already said what is complement, right? For example, complement is the opposite of the variable, right? For example, if a is equal to 0, then surely the a complement will be 1. Similarly, if a is equal to 1, then a complement will be 0, right? So what is the rule says? If you're going to add a and a complement, that is equal to 1, right? Now you can see here, if you're going to add these two, the result will be 1, correct? And if you're going to add this one, the result will be 1, right? So that is the rule, right? You can see here, right? I'm using an AND operation, sorry, an OR operation, right? And a is one input and a complement is another input, right? So if I say a is equal to 0, then the complement will be 1. And similarly, if a is equal to 1, the complement will be 0, right? And if you go to add both the things, you'll get answer as 1, right? This is the proof, right? So a variable ORed with its complement is always equal to 1, right? And if it can be 0 or 1 in any input, right? Right? So it will be equal to 1, correct? So this rule 6, right? And rule number 7, right? Rule number 7, the same which we saw in rule number 6, we saw for, right, a and a complement addition. Here what we are going to see is we are going to see both variable and operation, right? We saw in rule number 5, that is a plus a is equal to a, right? Similarly, here what we are going to do is we are going to see a dot a is equal to a, correct? So that is any variable and with that variable will be the same variable, right? So any variable and with itself is the same variable, right? That is, if both the inputs are a, right? If both are 0, then output will be 0. If both are 1, then the output will be 1, right? So that is the rule number 7, right? And what is rule number 8, right? Rule number 8, this is the complement of rule number 6. You can see here what in AND operation, that is in OR operation, what we are doing is we are ORing a and a complement, that is equal to 1, right? But in rule 8, what we are doing is we are ANDing, right? A and a complement. When it is ANDed, the output will be 0, right? That is, we know that a is equal to, if a is equal to 0, then a complement will be opposite of that one, that is 1, correct? And similarly, if A is equal to 1 and A complement is equal to 0, right? And if you're going to multiply this thing, you'll get 0. And you're going to multiply this thing, that should be 0. That is what represented here. Any variable and with the complement is always equal to 0, right? So you're going to using an AND operation. One input is A, another input is A complement. And if you're going to multiply this, the output will be 0, right? And here, if A is equal to 0, the A complement will be 1, right? And so the output will be 0, right? And rule number 9, right? And rule number 9, you can see here, A is equal to, right, A double bar, that is double complement, right? Yes, that is true, right? I already said what is variable and what is complement, correct? So if A is equal to 0 and A complement will be 1, correct? Right? And if you want to take the complement of this A bar again, right, that is A double bar, right? A double bar, once again that is 0, which is equal to A, correct? Right? So it is nothing but if your A is 1, then A complement will be 0, and again if you are going to take complement of A complement, then it will be 1, correct? Like this one, if A is equal to 1, then A complement is equal to 0, and if A complement of complement, right, that is equal to 1, right? That is what mentioned here. A is equal to A double bar. A double complement of variable is always equal to the variable, right? And you can see here we are using an NOT gate here, right? If A is equal to 0, right? If A is equal to 0, the complement is A is equal to 1. And if you are going to complement, that is, if you are going to implement NOT gate again, if you are going to take complement of that again, then that is equal to 0. Right, and if it is A is equal to 1, then A complement will be 0, and again A double bar will be equal to 1. Right, and that is what mentioned as A is equal to A double bar. Right, and we will see rule number 10. Right, and rule number 10, right, you can see here A plus AB is equal to A. Right, we are saying that A plus AB is equal to A. Right, how is that? How will you prove this? You can say that, you can see this, you take this expression. Right, you take this expression, what you are doing is we are taking A as common, right, from distributive law. From distributive law, from A, if you take A as common, what will happen? 1 plus B, correct? We already saw what is distributive law, right? The left hand side, you go and see the distributive law, the previous video, you'll understand, okay? So here what we are doing is we are taking A as common, so 1 plus B, right? And there is rule 2 which says 1 plus A is equal to 1, correct? 1 plus A is equal to 1, right? So now you can understand that this variable 1 plus B is equal to 1, right? And this is rule number 4. Any variable into 1 is equal to A. Now you understand why is that we use all those rules and regulations, correct? Right? So now we can also prove this using a truth table. Truth table which we prove panna mudiyum, right? You can see here. That is what we are saying. We are saying A plus AB is equal to A. Appdi prove pannom, right? So eppadi prove pannalam? We know that input A, B and an input eduthuko 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, right? So first thing what you have to do, you have to find out A into B, right? A into B. So A into B is 0 0 0, 0 into 1 0, and 1 into 0 0, and 1 into 1 1, correct? And then the next operation what we are going to do is we are going to add A plus AB. That is AB kuda A add pannu, right? 0 and 0 is equal to 0. Similarly, 0 and 0 is equal to 0. Right? That is adding A 0 plus 0 and 0 plus 0. And similarly, 1 plus 0 that is equal to 1. And 1 plus 1 that is equal to 1. Correct? Right? Now, what do you say that A plus AB is equal to A? You can see here, this is the A plus AB and this is A. You can see both are equal. Right? This is rule number 10. Right? So all these rules will be used to simplify your expressions. Okay. Now we are going to see very interesting rule which is rule number 11. Okay. So this is a bit complex rule, right? But you can able to understand, right? So listen the video very carefully. Okay. So you can see here A plus A bar B is equal to A plus B, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this expression A plus A bar B. Okay. So for that what I'm going to do is, right, I'm going to write this A, right, this A as A plus A bar B, right? You can see a plus ab, sorry, a plus ab. I am taking this expression, and instead of this a, what I'm going to write is a plus ab. That is rule number 10. According to rule number 10, we know that a is equal to a plus ab, right? And again, now what I'm going to do is, instead of this a, what I'm going to write is, I'm going to write a into a, right? All I'm doing is because I need to prove a plus b, right? So a, and again I'm going to add a into a bar by using rule number 8, right? Rule number 8 says that a into a complement, that is equal to 0, right? So adding this is have no value, right? So I am adding this one so that I can easily factorize this as a plus a bar and a plus b, right? In the expression on a plus a bar and a plus b, right? And now we know that according to rule number 6, a plus a bar is 1, right? And a plus b, 1 into a plus b, and which is nothing but a plus b, right? And truth table which is clean explain pannalam. We know that input a b 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, correct? And first thing what we need to find out is, we need to find out a bar b irukku, but we need to find out a bar first, right? A bar, what is a bar? The complement of this one, correct? So it is 1 1 0 0, correct? Right? And what you need to know? You need to know a bar into b, right? So it's 1 into 0 0, 1 into 1 1, and 0 into 0 0, 0 into 1 0, right? And then what we have to do? We have to find out a plus a bar b. We have determined what is a bar b. Now a plus a bar b, right? So 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 1 1, 1 plus 0 1, and 1 plus 0 1, right? And what we have to prove? We have to prove a plus b. We know that a plus b, that is 0 plus 0 is 0, right? And 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 1, right? And finally we need to prove that is a plus a bar b is equal to a plus b, correct? And that is what we are proving here, right? And we can also you can also implement using gates, right? How will you represent this expression? A bar b, right? That is a bar into b is an AND operation. You can see here a bar, that is NOT gate, and AND operation, and then this output is combined with the OR operation, that is this expression, okay? And this is the logic gate for it, right? And a plus b is nothing but a simple OR expression, right? So very simple, but you got to understand like this, you got to implement each and every rule to solve the complex expressions, okay? And the last rule is nothing but rule number 12, right? It's very similar to the distributive law, okay? So you can see here a plus b and a plus c is equal to a plus bc. This is what we have to prove, right? So how will you prove this? You can see here we are taking this expression, right? And according to distributive law, I can write this, that is a into a, and then a into c. I am going to just multiply a into a and a into c, and then ab and bc, correct? Right? And that's distributive law. According to distributive law, I am writing it, right? And instead of a, how can I write? I can write it as a is equal to a, right? And instead of a, I am writing a, right? This is rule number 7, right? So that now what I can do? I can take a as common in this expression. So I can write it as 1 plus c. And 1 plus c is nothing but 1, correct? 1 plus any variable is 1, right? And that is according to rule 2, right? So now the expression becomes like this, right? That is a plus ab plus bc, correct? So now using this expression, what you can do? You can take a as common. Now 1 plus b, correct? And once again 1 plus b is equal to 1, right? So we can write it as a. So that is a plus c. That is rule 2 and rule 4. Very simple, right? You got to apply the rules and regulations. I repeat it again. What I am doing is I am just expanding this expression, right? You can see a into a is c, and then b into a and b c, right? And then instead of a, I am writing a, right? I am taking a as common, so it is 1 plus c. And now once again what I am doing is I am taking a as common, it is 1 plus b, so it becomes a, right? And bc remains the same. This is rule number 12, right? Now we have to prove this complete expression, right? How can we do that? We can do it by using the truth table, right? First what we have to do, we have to find out a plus b and then a plus c, right? And then you need to find out b into c, correct? right? Now we'll take, you have three variables, A, B, and C, correct? So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, right? It's similar, it's like 4 to 1 code. You know how to write it, right? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and triple 1, correct? Now what you need to find out? You need to find out A plus B, right? That is A plus B, 0 into 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, and 0, 1, it's 1, and 0, 1, it's 1, and 1, 0, it's 1, 1 plus 0, it's 1, and 1 plus 1, it's 1, and 1 plus 1, it's 1. And similarly, we need to find out A plus C, right? 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 1, 1, and 0 plus 1, 0. Like this, you will find out A plus C. Okay, and now we need to multiply both these expressions, right? Right, this two expressions, right? So this expressions, right, that is 0 into 0, 0, 0 into 1, 0, 1 into 0, 0, 1 into 1, 1, and similarly 1 into 1, all this one will be 1, right? And what is that you have to prove? You have to prove this side, A plus BC, right? So for that, what do you know? You need BC, right? So BC is nothing but B into C. 0 into 0, 0, 0 into 1, 1 into 0, and 1 into 1, right? And 1, and all other things are 0 here because we have zeros, okay? And this one is 1, 1 into 1 is 1, right? So B into C. This is normal multiplication, right? And now what you have to do? You have to add A plus BC, correct? A plus BC. So that is 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0. And 0 plus 0, 0. And similarly 0 plus 1, that is 1, right? And 1 plus 0, that is 1. 1 plus 0, that is 1. Similarly 1 plus 0, that is 1. And last one, 1 plus 1 is 1. Now you see that this expression and this expression is same, right? That is rule number 12, right? And you can also implement this using gates. We know that A plus B you have to express by an OR gate, this one. And similarly A plus C and another OR gate, and then you have to use an AND gate to multiply this three thing, right? This is the left hand side expression, and right side expression you have to use one AND gate, B into C, right? And then you have to implement an OR gate, which is the we have to use this output and then A, right? This is rule number 12. As I said, you have to understand all the rules and regulations so that you can able to solve the complex equations. You can see that first 6 to 7 rules is very simple, but you can see the 10, 11, 12, how complex it is, right? Only using those expressions you can able to solve it, right? So today what we have seen is, we have seen 12 basic rules of Boolean algebra. It is very important question, right? So understand each and every rule so that you can solve very complex expressions. Okay, thank you students.
Thank you students. Thank you for watching. கண்டிப்பாக இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும் நம்புகிறேன். Subscribe Passionate Professor and keep learning. Thank you very much.